This is DJ Fallout, and you're listening to Vaquero Radio. Welcome, Vaqueros. This is DJ Fallout, and this is the Fallout Shelter. So you may have noticed we had some technical issues there at the start. I was trying to find that song. It's really important to our show today. Obviously, if you've heard the song before, Crazy by Gnarls Barkley, it talks about quote unquote going crazy and the liberation that brings, right? It's not just liberation, it's a toil and a trial. And I thought of this because, it's kind of crazy that Texas is the first state to go ahead and drop the mask mandate out of all the ones that adopted one. And it's also kind of crazy to see people out there just without masks. I wore a mask all the way to the station, and we take measures in the booth to make sure that everybody stays safe. When I leave the booth, I put my mask back on. So I think it's important that we continue to protect others, and I think it's crazy that we're doing this. So that led me into kind of the topic for today's show, which is kind of mental health during the pandemic. I know, my show, of course, Fallout Shelter, is about our coping mechanisms and how we deal with reality after all of this. But, I visited a family member the other day, and I talked with them briefly. And I saw and heard that they weren't okay. Okay, and this is a loved one that, has been in my life my entire, since I've been born. And so it's really important for those folks that may not have somebody to lean on a regular basis. It's important that when we do come in contact with somebody that we do care about, to listen, to hear what they're saying, and we have to take better care of one another, I think, because ultimately inside us, nobody really knows what's going on. We're all fighting our own battles, right? So this show is about those battles and what we can do to help others.
Introducing Vaquero Radio on Radio FX, the one way to interact with the Valley's official student station. You can interact with DJs, participate in polls and contests, view our vast schedule of genres and DJs, and get alerts when your favorite DJ is live. To download the Radio FX app, open the App Store on iPhone or Google Play on Android. Then search for Radio FX. From there, download the app. Once downloaded, you'll be guided into creating a Radio FX account using Facebook or email. Once set up, search for UTRGV and click on Vaquero Radio. From here, favorite the station by clicking on the star icon on the top right. When listening to Vaquero Radio, you can interact with our station by clicking on the Go button. We hope you enjoy using the Radio FX app. We will be sending updates on our social medias with new ways to interact with our station and joining mobile events. Wherever our music can take you, exciting things await in your pocket with Vaquero Radio on Radio FX.
Welcome back, Vaqueros. This is DJ Fallout, and this is the Fallout Shelter. So, in terms of mental health, we've got to ask, right? How are we doing? What have we seen, done, heard that's ours to have witnessed, that's ours to have done in an effort to cope? Look, last week I talked about, the quote-unquote dark night of the soul. Not everybody's there. I was reminded by a loved one that not everybody's there yet. That, I always talk about it like it almost sounds to the uninitiated that there's some morbid curiosity there, right? No, it's once, there's a line from a movie, Mad Max, where one of the characters, they ask her how she's doing, and she says, well, it hurts. And the other character says, well, out here, everything hurts. I understand that life is rough for everybody, especially now. Now, granted, Texas, with its mask mandate removal, is offering its citizens a glimpse, right, of normalcy, of freedom. We're not there yet. The numbers are going down. Well, they're not going down. They're actually very steady, but they're still higher than they should be. We're not out of the woods yet. I myself have gotten the first Moderna vaccine and have had a very hard time securing a second Moderna vaccine. CVS doesn't have them. Locally, there are very few vaccines available, and getting to the right person that can get you to that line is honestly a challenge, even for somebody like myself who has experience using digital technology. Our phones are in our hands all the time. I can't even imagine what it's like for our older citizens here, especially down here in the valley. So, again, this show is really about paying attention to our fellow man, making sure they're all right, and lending a hand when it's important to, because ultimately we are our brother's keeper. And no, that's not a biblical reference necessarily. It's just that if you fall, right, the royal you, if you fall, you would want somebody there to help pick you up. On the same, at the same time, when I fall, not that's the royal I, it's not me. Wouldn't somebody want another there to help, right? So again, you're not alone. You at least have me, haha. But in all honesty, there are people that care, and there are tools available, especially as students here at UTRGV. We do have access, of course, to counseling and other options. Veterans have another set of options. So there are tools, there are places. If you're particularly religious, you can always talk to your priest. My mother, is a big proponent of confession. Now, granted, not everybody likes being that open to a total stranger, although I am talking to you all. But that everybody has a way. Another friend of mine goes for long runs. So there's lots of ways to deal. Again, we're here to talk about that. Right now, this is one-way communication, but we'll be working on more app access soon, so we can start to have these conversations while we're on the air.
Hey there, vaqueros.
This is the Chunky Funky Hour with the DJ Nono Malo and
Big Vic.
we're here to cover current events, campus news, and all the gossip you want to hear.
Come and listen to us live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. here on Vaquero Radio, the Valley student station.
Hey everyone, this is DJ Dan from the Chill Hour reaching out to you. Take a breather, relax, and kick back with me. Vibe to some cool chill music and keep the week going. Tune in live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. here on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station.
Let me keep it real.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Fallout Shelter. So we've been talking a little bit about mental health and playing songs that have the word crazy in the title. But in terms of real world advice, right, what do we got? Well, in January, the CDC put out some guidance on coping with stress during the pandemic. So it lists kind of some obvious stuff in terms of what stress causes and then gives some solutions. So I'll just kind of give some examples here. Feelings of fear, anger, sadness, worry, numbness, frustration. Okay, yes to most of that. Changes in appetite, yep. Energy, yep. Desires and interest, yes and yes. Difficulty concentrating and making decisions, clearly. Difficulty sleeping or nightmares, 2 words, guys, it's night terrors, not fun. Physical reactions such as headaches, body pain, stomach problems, skin rashes. Okay, me personally, no, but I'm sure I've seen people break out in hives. worsening of chronic health problems, or worsening of mental health conditions. So all of these point to stress, right? How do we deal? Some of these are kind of silly, but honestly, when you do them, they work. Take deep breaths. Honestly, be conscious of your breath. Take over your breath as a conscious being and just learn to take big, deep inward breaths, big, deep outward breaths. That does help a lot. I do that myself. Learn to meditate. It's easier than one thinks it is. Try to eat healthy, well-balanced meals. Again, this is advice from the CDC. That's all good advice, right? Exercise regularly. Avoid excessive alcohol, tobacco, and substance use. All of these are great, great pieces of advice. So here's the issue, though. What if a person doesn't really know how to do any of that? What if they've never, been shown and given the very basic tools to go ahead and do that, to be able to eat healthy, exercise regularly? I know I'm guilty of it because back in the day, that's not anything that anybody particularly cared about. I'm a Generation Xer, so I'm a classic latchkey kid. And if you don't know what that means, look it up. There's a whole generation of us that were kind of hidden behind doors and forgotten about, and we were forced to learn how to, to fend for ourselves. Make time to unwind. I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I've got one activity after another, and I can't stop essentially moving. I get almost into this manic state. So learning to do nothing, I would assume. Do some other activities you enjoy. Pick up an instrument. I'm learning how to play the guitar. The joke is I've always very badly wanted to learn how to play the guitar. And now finally, after months of practice, I can very badly play the guitar. But it's helpful. I know that I can kind of zone out for 30 minutes or so, and it helps. Connect with others. If you're an introvert like me, yes, I'm an introvert. That's why I talk behind a mic. It helps to talk with people. Now, I do it more in one way. I also have a podcast called Fallout Radio that I do completely separately from YouTube, from Bucketto Radio. But I do understand what they mean. That one-way communication that I have, it has helped my particular state by simply talking about things in a confessional way to strangers. I know I said that it's weird to do, but if you do it and you don't actually interact with them, it does make for a release, if you will. Connect with your community. This is something that I've been doing this semester as a grad student, because social distancing measures are in place. Connect online, connect in groups or clubs. Honestly, I wouldn't be on Bucketto Radio if I didn't just step out and say, okay, this is well outside of a comfort zone. Let's try this. And now we're here. So, there's places for everybody to fit. And we've got to kind of start engaging again in as much as we can through social distancing and through masks and everything else. It's really important. So, again, there are resources available. Like I said, I just grabbed this off the CDC. So check it out when you have a chance. It's definitely good information. Just look up CDC, COVID, mental health, and this is one of the things that will come up. It'll also give you tools on helping others cope. So there's a lot there. Once again, we're here to help. Anytime you feel overwhelmed, definitely call somebody that you know. Hello, everyone. This is DJ Fallout, reaching out to you from the Fallout Shelter. I'm here to help you get through this crazy world that we live in and find out what comes next. Let's listen to some classic gems and get through this together. Tune in and listen live every Thursday at 11 a.m. here on Bucketto Radio, the Valley Student Radio Station.
UTRGV is proud to be tobacco-free and is committed to promoting the health, well-being, and safety of students, faculty, staff, and visitors. Use of all smoking devices and tobacco products on university property is prohibited. For more information on university policy, online reporting, and tobacco cessation resources, please visit www.utrgv.edu/hr/wellness/tobacco-cessation.
Good advice. Welcome back, Buckettos, to the Fallout Shelter. This is DJ Fallout. So, in our previous discussion, we were talking a little bit about healthy ways to cope with stress. One of the important things, since we are in capsules, if you will, with our loved ones, helping others cope, helping our friends and family that we're close to cope with what's going on. Taking care of yourself can obviously equip us to take better care of others. So during these times, it is really important to stay connected, and helping others cope with stress through phone calls, video chats. That can certainly help everybody in your social group feel less lonely and isolated. Now, if you are really struggling, I mentioned this before, there are tools, there are many ways to help. Your healthcare provider can help you immediately if stress is getting in the way of your daily activities. During times of extreme stress, people may have, some dark thoughts. Now, this is preventable, and help is is available. So there is the National Crisis Hotline, which is 1-800-273-TALK. This is also the National Veterans Crisis Line. They use the same number. There are also numbers out there for the Domestic Abuse Hotline, the Child Abuse Hotline. So there's a lot of help out there. Again, all that you need to do to find all of this is go to the CDC website. You can actually just do a search, do CDC COVID mental health, and it'll go ahead and pull up all the information that you need to go ahead and grab this opportunity, because it really is an opportunity, y'all. Everybody that feels trapped out there can go find a vocation, can go find something that has interested them, but they've never had the time to do it. Well, we've got that time now. So now's a good time as any to pick up where you left off in terms of any old hobby, vocation, and try to come up with a new way of looking at the world, come up with a new perspective, because the only way that we're going to be able to kind of see our way around what's happened to our society, what's happened to our friends and family, is to find a new perspective and to be able to go ahead and understand things from a different point of view. We all make mistakes. We're all human. It's the sum total of those mistakes, though, and the forgivenesses, right, of the mistakes we make and the mistakes of others that ultimately make us who we are. So here's some music that has nothing to do with what we've been talking about today.
Hey Vaqueros, this is the Aces.
DJ Diego.
And DJ Sebastian. We're just a couple guys here,
trying to help you put an ace up your sleeve.
Start the week right with some laughs and montage music.
Get in tune and prepare for a grind.
Come catch us live, noon, Mondays.
Here on Vaquero Radio.
The Valley Student Station.
Vaquero Radio is now available on the palm of your hand
with Radio FX. Download the Radio FX app to listen to your favorite DJs on the go.
For more information, go to utrgvradio.com.
Hey guys, this is your rock ambassador, DJ Z. I'm here to tell you about the most rocking hour on Vaquero Radio, the Rock Hour with Z. Tune in to hear about rock history, discuss rock news, and listen to your favorite rock music from across the ages. Catch me live every Thursday at 5 p.m. here on Vaquero Radio, the Valley Student Station.
Hello, everyone. This is DJ Fallout, reaching out to you from the Fallout Shelter. I'm here to help you get through this crazy world that we live in and find out what comes next. Let's listen to some classic gems and get through this together. Tune in and listen live every Thursday at 11 a.m. here on Vaquero Radio, the Valley Student Radio Station. Welcome back, Vaqueros, to the Fallout Shelter. This is DJ Fallout. Well, it's been a great Thursday. I'm here from 11 to 12 every Thursday, but not next Thursday. Next Thursday is actually going to be spring break. If we recall, thank goodness, we're going to have a week off. So do we as DJs. So I will be you will be hearing from me, rather, because I don't see you. You'll be hearing from me again, not this Thursday, but next Thursday. And I'll be talking about our first responders and what they're doing to cope with the pandemic, post-pandemic stress, and, of course, the situation they find themselves in. So we'll be talking to them on a special show, not this Thursday, next Thursday. So thanks once again for listening. My name's DJ Fallout. You can also listen to me on Fallout Radio. That is a different, completely different program. That's a podcast. You can listen to me there, and we talk about very much the same things that we're talking about here. So again, thanks for listening. Thank you, Vaqueros. It's been an honor. Enjoy next week as much as we can. Keep your loved ones close and keep your enemies closer.
Introducing Vaquero Radio on Radio FX, the one way to interact with the Valley's official student station. You can interact with DJs, participate in polls and contests, view our vast schedule of genres and DJs, and get alerts when your favorite DJ is live. To download the Radio FX app, open the App Store on iPhone or Google Play on Android. Then search for Radio FX. From there, download the app. Once downloaded, you'll be guided into creating a Radio FX account using Facebook or email. Once set up, search for UTRGV and click on Vaquero Radio. From here, favorite the station by clicking on the star icon on the top right. When listening to Vaquero Radio, you can interact with our station by clicking on the Go button. We hope you enjoy using the Radio FX app. We will be sending updates on our social medias with new ways to interact with our station and joining mobile events. Wherever our music can take you, exciting things await in your pocket with Vaquero Radio on Radio FX.